All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Word on the Street, episode 75. This is Trey Griggs with Lean Solutions with my man Nico and Tyler. We got others going to be joining us here shortly, so looking forward to having a great show today. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Not bad, man. I've been a busy little monkey.
Oh yeah, what's been keeping you busy, man?
I bought a website last night.
Nice, I love that. I've done that many nights, sitting around going, "Oh, this would be a good website." What'd you buy? Now that none of us can have it, you can let the secret out of the bag. What'd you buy, or is it still secret? Is it still?
So I started the framework for the new monkey business website, which is going to be called storytellingmonkeys.com.
Nice. And kudos to you. You got monkey business in your title today, so we're gonna do a little marketing for monkey business.
I know,
which
right?
Is great. We're happy to promote other businesses here on Word on the Street, so never a bad thing to do, which is good. Nick Rumor, what's up, brother?
What's up, guys?
All right, you'll be with us in a minute.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, there you are. What's going on? Happy Friday to everybody. Beefcake Bane is back in the house. What? Well, what did I do to deserve this, man?
You're just a wonderful human, Trey. That's what you did.
I think we should all recognize that, Blythe came up on the screen, and I was like, well, nobody's gonna beat that visual that she's got set up in the back there. And then Bane popped on, and he's like, "Hold my beer."
That's right. That's how it rolls. Blythe, what's up, girl? How are you?
How are you guys doing? Hopefully you can hear me all okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everything is good. You got the official podcast set up, so you have the best sound of everybody here. So
hopefully it took a few trial and errors of the last year and a half of testing.
Blythe, it's been forever. How are you?
I know it's been a minute since I've joined on it. Fridays are usually my kind of get back into focus mode, writing, creative days, because the show's over on Thursday. I spent all week prepping for it, client work and all that stuff.
Yeah, you and Jolly, you guys are always working all the time, whatever.
As he stands overlooking a balcony.
I'm joined by my guy. That's right. Hey, at least I'm here, right? I'm working, but I'm here. No, I got my guy Tyler Crow with me today. He's one of our top sales reps. We're in Omaha, Nebraska, at the International Factoring Association trade show. I'm gonna have to move my camera because you're taller than I am.
I'm about to get down. I
know.
What's going on, guys? How's everyone doing?
Scoot to the back, so get you in the picture. So no, we've been up here working with factoring companies, which has been a huge new segment for us at Lean. It's been great, and had a great time today. So got Tyler with me. I said, dude, jump on the call, man. Check out what we're doing. So
I don't drink, but I just started today.
Not true. BS. I've been with you for a whole week now. No, that's not true. Although I do know this, you tend to take days off. You do a day off, a day on, you do 2 days on,
kind of like carb cycling. Except I do it with scotch.
It's fasting.
Exactly. So, to everybody, listen, I don't know if we can handle this. I mean, it's not even 12:05 yet, and Chris Jolly's here. I don't even know what's going on today. This is crazy. This day's a wild day. I don't even know what to expect.
Coach.
I am so glad it cut off right when Trey was talking shit. Says the guy who's on the fucking golf course right now.
True story.
Yeah. That's pretty much your daily life, Trey. Round of golf after round of golf.
Hey,
clients.
Someone's got to do it, man.
It's been a hard week of work. All right. We finished today at noon. We're done. We're doing the show. Shut up. We're doing the show. And then we're going to go play a round of golf. I mean, what's wrong with that?
Emphasis on the show. Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. Now, this is cool. I got to tell you, we're at the
Chris,
club.
you and I are here, so
Indian
the show
Creek.
is here.
Exactly.
The show is here. That's right. So we're at the club at Indian Creek in Omaha, Nebraska, and Elkhorn, Nebraska, actually just outside of Omaha. This is where Jared Wolf, our guy, our brand ambassador, got his PGA Tour card 4 weeks ago. And we were up here. I'm like, well, we got to play this course, of course. So it's pretty cool. 18th green right over there. It's where he got his card. And so we're here to enjoy the course. It is windy. It's a little cloudy. It's a little cold today. My boy's going to be cold in his shorts. I got the pants on. So, maturity, wisdom on this side of the call for sure.
Emphasis on mature.
Emphasis.
AKA gray hair.
That's right. Thank you very much. Coleman, what's up, brother? How are you?
Good to be back. Good to have the crew on a Friday.
Coleman, I owe you a shirt, bro, because you're now an honorary member of the sales team. You keep sending us leads, man. I appreciate it. I have to send you a polo.
Hey, anything I can ever do to support the crew, that's what I'm here for,
Then we're gonna have to make that happen. And Diana's here. What's up, Diana? Are you in your car today? What's going on? There you are. Are you at work? Can we meet your coworkers today?
Yes,
We've got some
absolutely. Give me
stories to tell
drivers.
them. There's
Give
probably
me
things they don't know about
drivers.
you yet.
Yeah, I need drivers, y'all. Send me drivers.
Awesome. Nice, awesome. Well, it's great to have you guys on the show. We're excited to have Blythe today because Blythe has hit some major milestones. I mean, Chris Jolly has as well, but today is Blythe's day. Blythe's hit some awesome milestones from the podcasting perspective. Blythe, tell us what you've been doing. Like, it's probably been months, maybe even like a half a year. So tell us what you've been up to.
I think it has been a half a year because the last time I remember seeing Coleman, I remember bragging about the Jaguars having a win, and that was after the first week of last year. And I had to take that chance. Because then we proceeded to lose 15 more games. And thank God I did take that chance.
It's been a hot minute since you've been on the show.
It has. It really. Podcasting, traveling, the show, Cyberly on Freightwaves Thursday at 2 p.m. if any of you guys are interested in catching it. But yeah, the podcast is
2:30 p.m. Eastern time. Is that right?
2 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every Thursday.
That's like, that's on Thursday. Okay.
Yeah, Thursdays. But yeah, I relaunched. I've been a podcaster since like 2014. But since 2014, it's been like more sports entertainment side. But about a year ago, I relaunched it for Digital Dispatch. And so it's been almost a year since that has happened. And since then, a lot of cool stuff has happened. It got, picked up by Freightwaves. So now there's a video element involved with it. And that creates a whole new set.
Syndication now is what you're saying. You're syndicated. I like it.
Yeah, so it works out pretty well. I can create the show once and then take it and splice it up into 3 different episodes, so I can kind of know what topics are resonating well and what isn't. But picking up new listeners, I just started checking out my rankings. I didn't know that this was actually a thing that you could do on Pod Status, but you can check out your rankings. And I'm big in Uzbekistan, number 37, as far as marketing podcasts are concerned.
Must be my carrier network.
Well played.
Awesome.
Well, Diane, I think I found a group of drivers for you. Uzbekistan.
Yeah.
So yeah, big in Uzbekistan.
Getting along.
All
Obviously-
very, very strong solo. I promise. Very, very good track.
Oh, so awesome. So Blythe, you also, like in transportation, you've been on the top 20 lists along with our own Chris Jolly. And the idea of splicing up your content to make that's really smart. I should do that with this. I mean, there's some really good stuff. If I had any wits about me, I should do that. That's really clever. So what number have you gotten to on the Freightwaves top 25? What's the highest ranking?
Like their podcast, I'm not sure. I just know that there's a couple companies that make those lists as far as like top podcasts in the industry, which is crazy to even have that now.
How much do they cost to get on?
I don't know. I don't think that people like pay for that. I haven't paid for it personally.
I paid $500. No, I'm just kidding.
There's those lists where they're like, hey, for $5,000, we'll get you, and then blah blah blah.
Or it's like the awards, the awards. You've been recognized, female leader and yada yada. Just pay $1,000 and we'll get you featured in this magazine and send you a trophy. It's like I see the hustle.
Love that you just said yada yada. Oh, that makes me feel good. That's so good. All right. So Greg Roberts, what's up, brother? How are you?
Doing all right. How's everybody
Welcome to
doing?
the show. Caught you mid drink. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so one of the things we want to talk about today is marketing, because obviously that's something that, we have several marketers on here, but Blythe in particular does quite a bit of that. We actually get to partner with her on some marketing stuff. So it's been fun to have her as a client and a partner, which is really great. So what we're going to do before we talk marketing is we're going to do a little poll and see how things are going with your company in terms of marketing. Everybody has the option to vote. So go ahead and do that while we listen to a little bit of Eve 6 with Inside Out, some little 90s rock today. So there we go. Nick, you might enjoy this poll a little bit too with what you're doing. So I love it when I can get Chris rocking. That's like the goal when he shows up right there.
This is just my high school days all over again, man.
Dude,
Rendezvous, now I'm through.
I'm sure there's a delay there. There's no way that was on rhythm with the actual song. People watching on YouTube did
with
not
that
get
attitude, it's not Trey.
It's interesting because I work with Gina Mann on a regular basis, and Love marketing myself. Really believe that sales and marketing is one department with two little subcategories, and so it's become a real passion of mine as well. So, but it's one of those things that I think we'll find out in the poll results. Some people may not. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Beefcake, you got any competitions coming up?
I just got back from New York. I was spotting a September 11th memorial meet, which was really cool. Actually did probably 15 minutes of one of my own podcasts just about that. And then we've got Drug Tested Worlds in a couple weeks, and then I'll be competing myself in December.
Nice.
Where?
Nice.
Can I just point out that it's awesome that you have to specify, awesome and terrible at the same time, that you have to specify that this Worlds is the drug tested one?
Call it what it is,
I
man.
thought that was just like a website name or something. I was like, oh, that's pretty clever.
Is it still a lie detector, Robert?
No, so we have so it's mostly just urine tests. Some have wanted to go as full as Olympic level WADA tests. That's a whole different podcast I could talk about, which I've done. And it's just interesting. We'll say that there were federations specifically started around the fact that they were beating drug tests and the people didn't feel honest. Like, listen, we know we take this stuff. We beat your tests. We're going to go off on our own because this is not right.
That's like the hacking market. We just hacked you. We're not afraid to tell you. Give us some money.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's changed, but the bodybuilding world's a lie detector because there was too many ways to get by the simple 7.
The lie detector is you take stuff? No.
Yeah, no.
Problem.
That's insane.
No. It's
wrong.
Wrong, very wrong. Very I know drugs. I know anabolics. Trust me, I know these things.
Robert, they should just let them fly. PEDs, steroids, everything. And see how jacked these people can get.
We have untested divisions, and it's very we're very open about it. I happen to not take anything, but I have many friends that I get educated on, so I just understand what the stuff does. It's really interesting to me. Like, we just say, screw it, let's roll. And that's why you see people.
Seriously though, you got to talk trash when you beat people who are taking stuff. You got to.
It's so much fun. I love doing that. Yeah, I love it.
I would.
With bodybuilding, right? Like, they look jacked, but he can't lift shit.
Yeah, they look strong. They're just not strong. Powerlifters don't look strong. But we are.
And they can't wash their hair. They're like they can't get their, so there's lots of downsides.
That's why I shave it, man.
A lot of downsides.
Yeah. That's why I don't work out, or else I couldn't do this anymore.
That's why you don't work out? That's the reason, Nick? I don't think so.
Yeah, you can't throw off that salon quality hair. Look at that.
That's why I stopped too, Nick.
You pay a lot of money for that.
All right, so let's go over the results of this poll. Just as I assumed, Blythe, you wouldn't be surprised by these results either. Look at this. So how many people are in your company working in the marketing department? Everybody on this call said 0, 1, or 2. That's it. And we're mostly all in transportation. That's what I assumed it would be.
I only have one person working for my company right now.
Same here.
Okay, so we'll let those slide, but the rest of you, I know your stories. So
I don't technically have a marketing department, so it's just me.
You are the marketing department.
That's
right.
Face. That's your marketing department.
That's right.
Yeah,
it's the
your
hat,
podcast.
Robert.
The hat, the podcast, the hashtag. It's all good. All right, number 2. What types of marketing does your company currently use? Looks like the most is actually blogs and podcasting, and then along with trade show events. Those were at the very top, and the ones that were lowest, someone's still using direct mailers. I put that on there just for fun to see if anybody would put it. So if you're doing that, I'm not laughing at you.
Still using pay-per-click social media.
A lot of people are, especially like driver dispatching or driver recruiting, like that stuff where it's on Facebook and things where it's really targeted towards an individual in our industry. That's huge.
And a lot of money spent there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think about the marketing to drivers. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of SEO optimization still, people don't do a lot of that. So we get a lot of requests for that on our side as well. But that kind of, that's not surprising too much, but what did surprise me was that blogs and podcasting and trade shows were the top, because you would think that maybe email campaigns, I would imagine every company would do that, but only 3 out of 9 that we know of are doing that. So
it's crazy to see podcasting that high.
It is. That was a surprise too. But at the same time, look who's on the call. We have a bunch of podcasters.
It's all podcasters.
So, right. I mean, maybe if we
what the main difference is? You know what the main difference is with podcasting and stuff like that? We choose to listen to it. Email stuff is people just don't look at it because they're just like, oh, there's another one. That goes in the bin, it goes in your spam, that goes podcast we like to listen to. So that's why that's probably why it's so high.
But
you know what I think is actually. Of that is,
if you don't, go ahead, Nico. Sorry, if you don't have a podcast nowadays, it's really hard to get your message out there.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
No, you're good.
So no, like when you have a podcast, like most of the freight companies I know of are either like they have a podcast or I've heard of them on a podcast that I listen to. I mean, look at FreightWaves. So much of what I follow about the transportation industry comes from FreightWaves podcasts. It's What the Truck. It's Put That Coffee Down. It's all the stuff that they're putting out like throughout the day that I actually generally have time to catch. And it's the midday shows. No offense to anyone else. It's just the midday shows because that's normally when I'm taking a break.
Yeah.
But that's how you hear about people. That's how I heard about Molo Solutions and Allegiant Express and like all of those companies that I spend so much of my time talking about on my LinkedIn. Like that, I found out about them through podcasts.
Right. And some of the great things about podcasts is you actually hear from the people, so you can really feel like, at least from an audio or maybe audio video, you get to understand who they are. It's content that can be reused, so it's not just one time. And it's content that can also be quick to market. Like you can do a podcast and have it out tomorrow if you needed to, or that day. And so I know like Chris, you're doing, what we have to 110 podcast episodes so far, doing 2 a week. 108. Sorry, we're getting close. 2 a week. But I mean, how long does it take you to turn those around? Do you get them around 24 hours? Is it longer, 72 hours a week? Or what's your turnaround time?
No, I mean, I have the base of everything already built up. It's just dropping in the audio file and then editing out any blemishes, I guess, if there's anything that cuts in and out.
Right. Farts that, make the mic, that kind of stuff.
That was you.
Yeah. Cut them out. It was embarrassing, but I'm glad you cut it out. So I appreciate it. Didn't really happen. But anyways, so you didn't answer my question. What's the time? Like how long does it take you to turn around?
30 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on how the audio quality comes through. Not that long.
Yeah, it can be really relevant information as well and very timely and speed to market. So it only makes sense to do that. So how many episodes, Blythe, have you got on your podcast? And what's the name of it so everybody knows?
Digital Dispatch. So Digital Dispatch podcast. I think I am close. I just hit 75. And so by next week, I think I'll be closer to 80. Because I had I don't really count the one I did today because I did it kind of as an experiment. One of my best episodes from about a year ago before I started with FreightWaves was an interview with DeMarco Thomas, Metromax. He's super smart and it's one of those interviews that's one of the more successful ones. So I did a rebroadcast of it. So I uploaded it as a new episode today. Just doing a little experiment to see how that would work, to see how the maybe new listeners that haven't heard gone back that far yet, maybe that they would like to listen to the new one.
Yeah, very cool. And it's funny when I think about marketing and messaging, literally the first thing that comes to mind is podcasting. Our brand ambassador Jared Wolf, he started his rookie year on the PGA Tour yesterday. So on Sunday we recorded an episode of a new podcast called Full Send because his favorite shot to hit is driver full send, which means all out. And so we've got this podcast. I dropped it last week and like all of his fans are digging it because it's him talking about being on the PGA Tour. And so my first thought was, let's do a podcast. And I literally had it out in, an hour and I had to build some of the intros and the music behind it. Didn't take that long, but that was my first thought was let's do a podcast because people listen. It's easy to get out there. It's easy to consume. People aren't podcasting. They're missing out huge in terms of messaging and getting their word out there. And Blythe, you like this. Next question. What types of marketing would you most like to see? The one with the most is podcasting. So awesome. We have 5 on here that are podcasting and 4 that want to be podcasting. So everybody wants to be in the podcast business here. And it doesn't take that much to get started. Tell me about, starting your podcast so people can those that want to get started.
I mean, I started years ago. So I started out at a radio station and then recording with my phone. So that was the podcast feed. So I did that for years, but then just recording now, I have all of the stuff at my house. So I have the webcam, I have the mic that I've had for a few years now. So it's a pretty seamless start. I would say the thing that probably will maybe set you back as far as like hiring somebody else is getting somebody to make like custom intro music, outro music. That's where I spend a little money on that. I am going to be investing soon in a new show art because I think my show art was just done on a whim in Canva. And so the next step is going to be to fine tune some of these things. And the show art is one of them, even though I like the bold color because I feel like it stands out in the feed itself. But I think there's definitely room there. I'm always looking to tweak certain things and make it more just better.
But you were able to get on quickly. And what really surprised me is how easy it is to set up with Apple, with Spotify, with all those. It's really not that challenging at all to get out. You could, if you had a day, you could record a podcast, do all the intro, outro work, and get it uploaded like easily with anything. I mean, it's
and a lot of times your hosting provider, like I use Buzzsprout, so it's as simple as clicking just a few buttons and my podcast is out everywhere.
Yes,
I do that
Buzzsprout
one time and that's it. And that's a
exactly.
Jacksonville local company right there.
Nice.
Super proud to have them in
Buzzsprout as well. So that's awesome. But it's not that much work. So if you guys want to get into podcasting, definitely do that. One of you said you want to get into trade shows. Let me tell you about trade shows. Let me tell you my experience at trade shows, right? Always visit the trade show first before you decide to sponsor an exhibit. Because once you have a booth, you almost have to keep having a booth, or people are going to be like, wow, where's Lean Solutions? They had a booth last year and they're not here this year, right? But if you just go and attend it, you can see who's there. Is it the right kind of people? So always attend first before you actually sponsor or do an exhibit at a booth. Don't jump in right away. It's just not worth it. Plus, I like the fact that we can walk around. Like we were just at IFA this week. We didn't have a booth. We were able to just walk around, have meetings, go to dinner, whatever. It was so awesome.
That part.
My encouragement to you is don't exhibit, maybe sponsor, but don't exhibit the first year. Get to know it, see if you really want to exhibit. Because once you have a booth, you kind of have to keep having a booth, or people will be like, oh, something must be going wrong with that company. I don't have a booth this year. You have to explain yourself. So be cautious on having a booth right away. That's my 2 cents on that. So any other thoughts on trade shows? All right.
I love trade shows. I love attending them, but exhibiting there is a challenge because that's actually happened to me before where I've exhibited.
Right.
I had to stay there the whole time.
Yes.
Couldn't necessarily have conversations that I wanted to because I was stuck there.
Right.
And then the next day or the next conference, it was one of those things where I had to, I couldn't stay there the whole time. So people are stopping by the booth and I'm not there, but I'm having conversations with other people.
Exactly. So that leads me to tip number 2, and that is if you do get a booth, bring a couple of peons that you can leave at the booth while you go walk around. All right.
They're colleagues, Trey. Colleagues.
Colleagues. I'm sorry. Colleagues.
The biggest problem that I have with trade shows, and I did trade shows with my last job, is that I think that people go to them the wrong way. If you go to a trade show and you look at a booth that there are actually people at, not like, carnival barkers going, hey, come over here and get a mug. It's people who bring an experience. Like, stop bringing your stupid salespeople. Bring a customer. Have a customer sit in your booth every single day and tell other people
Shout out to Brandon Bay
by,
of LGI. I just got to say that, but keep going, Nico.
That says what you do.
All the time.
That's why podcasting is such a beautiful way of advertising for companies. It's storytelling. Any way that you can make a story about your company is going to sell better than if you have some salesperson trying to convince people that you're better.
That's probably our biggest takeaway from this trip, right? Was our customers sell our product way better than we do, And so on Sunday night, we took him to a dinner. I got to tell you, so Nico, you're in. I got to tell you the story real quick. So Sunday night we go to a dinner at Cowboys Golf Club. We brought some customers, bring some prospects. I'm sitting at a table. I got 2 prospects at my table and 1 customer. And the conversation eventually turned to business. And my customer starts, talking, and I'm just kind of sitting there. Then another customer, Tom Curie of Kingsgate, you guys might know him. He comes over to the table. He starts talking to the prospect. I get up to go get a drink, and my seat is gone. Tom has sat down. The dude, they're pitching this guy. I didn't go back to the table. At the end of the night, the customer comes over. He shakes my hand. He goes, all right, man, we're going to sign up. We're good. I'm like, all right, here we go. So you have your customers sell it way better. We had that experience happen here too. We had customers here who were telling everybody about their experience with Lean, and they're like, hey, we need to talk. Like, great. So you're absolutely right, Nico. Customer experience and bringing that to the table is so critical, whether it's trade shows or podcasts or webinars or events or whatever. Bring your customers. Absolutely.
See, I think the biggest misunderstanding in logistics is that logistics is sold as a product, and you're not a product. Logistics is a service.
Yeah.
You're moving freight. So if you want to stand out above all the other people moving freight, give me a reason to give a damn.
Yeah.
And how do you do that? You tell a story.
Yeah. And we often tell people this, that I tell the sales guys this a lot too. People want to do business with people they like. So you need to be the likable ones, the fun ones, the ones they want to hang out with, you know? That makes these experiences even more enjoyable because they actually like us. We like them. We're friends. We want to hang out. We get to know their families. It just adds another layer that is just so rich. It's so important, you know?
And so I will kind of selfishly say that the entire reason I founded Monkey Business is to help people actually throw out these types of storytelling campaigns. So, you know, we come out and we teach you how to do this. So just putting it out there.
So Nico, quick question. Are you telling me that there's no other business out there called Monkey Business? I love that name. That is like that's a great name. Like, are you the first monkey business out there?
So there are other companies with the same name, but not with the same flash. Like, and that's my whole thing, man. Like every time I've worked in sales, I've just done the same thing. I'm a spectacle. You want to see what I'm going to do next. Like, that's why people bring me along. I'm fun. So, you know, it's training your salespeople to be that infectious. Like, people call me because they like hearing what I'm gonna say. That's how you sell your business.
The trained
that's why Chris decided to be my friend. I mean, he just wants to hear what I have to say. You know, that's why we hang out.
And how could you not like Chris? I mean, he's literally named Jolly.
Exactly. Beefcake, what were you about to say?
I'll say, so we train our salespeople to be a virus, be infectious. Got it.
That's right. That's right. Hey, on a side note, this is not important to any of you guys, but it's important to me. The PGA Pro here just gave us the official yardage book for the tournament. Has all the information about the greens and all that. Just came over and dropped it in our lap. I'm telling you, it pays to make friends. So, you know, this is a $25 value right here, and we got it for free. So, you know, I know none of you care about that, but we care about that. We're pretty stoked.
The little perks, right? The little perks.
It is. That's right. That's right. Exactly. All right. Last question on this poll: does the transportation industry as a whole value marketing? 6 of you say no, and I would agree with that. I just don't think this industry gets it from a marketing perspective. And it's a kind of a bummer to see that. You can see that in how they invest their money, how they hire their staff. Most of the people that we work with at Lean, most of the transportation companies have one, maybe two people, and then we do the rest. So it's good for us, but it's like, wow, they haven't put a lot of time. They don't see the value in this. But if you think about it, think about just from a branding perspective. There are certain brands in our industry that everybody knows, you know, and they've poured money into marketing to make sure that is the case, and that they're the leaders in the industry when it comes to thought leadership or services or whatever it is. So
I think it depends on who you're marketing to, because like our parent company markets the shit out of drivers all day, every day, as much as they possibly can. Customer facing a little bit different, but
yeah. I think you're right.
As a transportation brand, like your marketing should totally be about recruiting drivers. And I think that you should recruit customers the same way that you recruit drivers. You don't recruit drivers just saying, "Woo, we're the best." You say, you know, "Hey, we're going to make sure that you get paid on time. We're going to make sure that, you know, any discrepancies, you know, we try and figure out in your favor. You know, we're going to make sure that you get home, you know, when you prefer to be home," stuff like that. Like, that's what you're telling your drivers, right? You're telling them that because you're telling them, again, why they should give a damn. Why should they work for you, right, as opposed to somebody else? That's the same way you should market to your customers. Don't tell me that you have the newest trucks or the most safest drivers. Nobody cares. Tell me about the time that you went out of your way at 6 o'clock at, huh?
They might care a little bit about the safe trucks, but you know, it might be lower on that.
If you tell me about the time that you stayed late to make sure that a delivery got there for a customer on time, like that I'm going to pay attention to. And I'm going to remember you, because I'm going to remember that you went out of the way for somebody else. So chances are you're going to go out of the way for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's what your marketing needs to be.
Well,
it depends. Like you say, it depends on what industry you're in. I mean, I've been in the hazmat industry my whole life, so I'm going to be looking for safe carriers, right? I mean, they've got to have the safety records. They've got to make sure that they come in with clean, dry, and odor-free tanks so that they don't contaminate your product, and they're professional when they go to that make that delivery to that customer because they're an extension of your company.
Exactly.
So,
but even safety can be marketed. Like
Yeah,
who does
definitely.
safety marketing that we know? John Larkin or Rick Larkin.
Rick Larkin,
BCB.
Transport,
Right?
safest fleet in the nation.
Safest fleet. Yep, that's right, exactly. So yeah, even something like that, doesn't matter what it is, you can market it. You can tell that story about who you are.
Yeah,
Blythe, you were
and
gonna say
what you
something.
could do is you could market your safety by, like, you know, if you have a customer who used to get like dirty, you know, unclean equipment, and they switch to you and now they're getting clean equipment, have that customer tell that story.
Right.
Because again,
exactly.
that story spreads. That's the beauty of stories, is that they spread.
Yep. Blythe, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that the biggest difference between a lot of companies that choose marketing or choose to invest in it is, can they see the ROI? When you're marketing to shippers, you're not going to see the ROI because there is no digital attribution report that you can actually create that shows this person came in through, you know, this route, and that, you know, that white paper, that case study, that video was the reason that they ultimately became a customer. It's so multifaceted when it comes to the shipper relationship versus the driver relationship, where it's more direct, where you can use drivers to tell those stories, and then they come in on maybe through an advertisement and then fill out your application on your site. There's more of a direct attribution there. And I think that that's why more transportation companies pour money into driver and employee recruiting versus recruiting customers, because no customer is out there searching, you know, on Google to find a carrier. They have people beating down their doors for that. They don't need to do that. So you need to find ways to stand out differently from everybody else. And 9 times out of 10, it's usually going to be through some kind of visual medium, because at the end of the day, like, no one cares, you know, what lanes you run or the pricing special, anything like that. It's really about, are you going to be there for them in their time of need? And then if you can prove yourself once, can you prove yourself over and over again? And then that's how you ultimately win those customers over.
And it's also a point to make too, that like marketing is a long-term strategy. Like you have to have the right expectations for marketing. You know, when you think, like, we hear people say, we got to see the ROI in 3 months. Okay, well, you're probably not going to in this. Like this is a long-term strategy, you know, and that's where marketing and sales balance. Sales is 1-to-1, and it's more direct, more immediate, and it happens faster. Shorter sales cycle, it happens quicker. Marketing is 1-to-many, you know, and it's branding and who are you? What does your company stand for? What do you guys do? And it's just over time, that churn that builds the flywheel, it builds that brand awareness, where people start to go, you know what? I need some more people. Gosh, I can't find anybody good. I've heard this company lead. Maybe I should reach out to them.
And that's the thing,
which is not direct. How do you know? How do we know that we got? How do we know? It was all those pieces.
Because what would happen is that on, say, like a HubSpot report or a Google Analytics report, if that lead comes through, they're not going to be attributed to the, you know, the 12 podcasts that they listened to before they filled out a lead form. It's going to show that, hey, they Googled our company name and then they converted. Let's invest more into SEO. And it's like, no, that it was actually, you know, the creative department or the marketing department that made all that work happen.
Or if the sales guys do their job and ask the question, hey, how'd you hear about us? Right? They're going to probably say one thing or the last thing. They're not going to mention it. Well, I listened to a podcast. I read a white paper. You guys had a webinar. I joined a couple of those. I looked on your website. Like, they're not going to say that. They're going to say, oh yeah, you know, they're going to probably list one. And then you might look at your metrics and go, oh, we need more of that. Well, might need more of that, but there's so much more that goes into it. And if you really understand marketing, then you value that. You put that out. I wanted to bring Meshach in real quick. Meshach, you do this all the time for a living. What's your take on, you know, on that? Yeah, Meshach, he joins us all the time. It's great. He always comes in a little late. He's like fashionably late, and he comes in usually right when we're talking about something that is pertinent to him. I don't know how he does it. I'm not sure what's going on.
The spidey senses.
Your ears are burning and
So Meshach, give us your thoughts a little bit on you know, just the marketing we're talking about and your approach.
Well, I mean, what I heard is you're talking about a lot of times they have meetings that just kind of go to halfway through the hour. So thanks for letting me kind of pop in. Great to see you all, Trey, Blythe. Good to see you. Haven't seen you here in a while. Yeah, I mean, you know, the marketing to truckers is something that I'm really passionate about. I helped build up. You know, if you remember. XRS or X Nation back in the day, and then 120, and then Truck That, and then Uber Freight, and all of those. I built all of those.
Truck That, I love it.
that was my
favorite name of the week right there. Is Truck That.
Yeah, that was we built like 62,000 followers in like 2.5-3 months, I think, and got it to over 100,000 in 6 months. Yeah, and then it all imploded, but that's a story for another day. But yeah, I mean, marketing to truckers, I mean, I think one of the critical things there is trust. Blythe, mentioned this. Just like the trust you're going to be there, and you can say that directly, but the last thing you want to do is say trust me. That's a great way to start the end of a conversation. But if you really focus on community and build community in a very authentic way, and one of the ways you can do that is if you have like kind of an influencer that's building a community and is very authentically building a community with your brand. But building that community is the critical way that you can do that, and you can really cut through the noise. Drivers are they're kind of the modern day cowboys in a way, but there's it's not just that they like being alone. They like being part of a story. They like being part of that kind of American rebel narrative. So create that narrative around your brand as long as it's authentic. And you're gonna appeal to truckers both old and new. And you're going to establish that trust that Blythe mentioned about, like, that you're going to be there for that trucker when they need you. Because if you have a big community, then that becomes a liability if you're not. So it kind of, goes hand in glove. You don't necessarily even need to say these things out loud, but you do need to do them. Otherwise, it all comes tumbling down.
Yeah, and Meshach, thanks for joining us. Raquel, Juan, thanks for joining us. Before you guys got here, we did a poll, and in the poll, it said that 5 people on the call at the time were podcasting, and that the other 4 wanted to be podcasting. So everybody's like wanting to get into the podcast game. Meshach, when's the Load Share podcast coming out? I know you guys do the third Thursdays. When are you guys going to get in the podcast game?
We've been kicking that can down the road for quite a while. Probably pretty soon. I mean, we've got some great people that would love to run some podcasts. So I think that you'll probably hear Mike Bledger starting one up soon where
he'd be great. Oh my gosh, he'd be a phenomenal host.
Yeah, just to keep it kind of fun and light and kind of and have these interviews, but have them be a little bit, just enjoyable, friendly, community oriented. So we'll probably start one of those actually pretty soon, and everyone's welcome, because it's going to be just like our third Thursdays, which thank you for everybody who joined this last one yesterday. Was it just yesterday? Wow. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Mike Bledger, if you haven't seen his stuff, I put him in the chat. You can Google him and see some stuff that he's done, but just really good sense of humor, pretty dry sometimes, pretty sarcastic, and just really, really witty. So he'd be a great host. I would enjoy watching that. So I hope you guys.
I would add too that Meshach is a top 5 episode all time for DigiDispatch for the podcast.
Hey,
awesome!
Wow, well, congratulations. That's awesome. What did you talk about? What was
from like a theoretical standpoint, like the going inside like the mind of the target audience of who you're trying to reach. Like it was really fascinating.
Meshach's a genius. Not surprised to hear about that at all. So
check out his bio on LinkedIn. It's one of the best, if not the best.
Throw some links in here. Throw the link to that episode so we can listen to it, if you don't mind. And then and Meshach, throw your bio on LinkedIn in the chat so everybody can see it.
You're too kind. Thank you.
After today, we just copy paste your bio and change our name into
it. Working smarter, not harder, right?
People are going to be like,
exactly. Let's not
there's a lot of people that do this. There's a lot of guys that have that experience.
Everybody starts accusing me of copying other people,
Well, I was a teacher for a long time. You beg, borrow, and steal anything that's good. There's nothing new under the sun, that's for sure. Yeah. So, Hey, Nick, what'd you have for dinner?
From the best.
We had homemade gnocchi.
Homemade what?
Gnocchi. Do you know gnocchi?
I don't know.
It's like an Italian dish. It's like a potato dish.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes people call it gnocchi. Trey?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
So there's a silent G in there. All right. Okay.
Yeah. There was a.
All right, because I was gonna Google it and be like, I don't even know what this is. I can't find it.
There was this really cool episode of Curious George where he was helping his friends make gnocchi. So that's how I learned about it.
Somebody put in the comments. Find that on YouTube and throw it in the chat. Somebody please do that.
It's at Olive Garden, where are you? Unlimited soup, salad, breadsticks, Olive Garden. They have gnocchi on the menu.
You don't go to Olive Garden for the gnocchi. You go for the unlimited breadsticks. Let's be honest.
That's right.
And the salad, anything unlimited.
Exactly.
Buffets are my favorite.
Juan, did you ask where I am? If you don't know any answer yet, Juan, did you ask where I am? You get one guess.
In the golf course.
Of course I am. Look at this. Of course.
Dude, are you rocking out to music? Is that where the background music is coming from?
Yes, I've got my speaker every week. I mean, yes. This is a full production. All right. We're not amateur hour anymore. All right. We're the real deal. So yeah, we're on a golf course one, and Tyler and I have had a long week. We've only slept, I think, maybe 35 hours total for the week so far on a 7-day trip. And so we're going to go play golf after this and not answer any phone calls for like a couple hours. And then I'm going to go home.
I'm calling you 75 times in a row.
I'm not answering one of them.
I will just furiously text.
I have my broker
one, and my voicemail inbox is full. So do whatever you want. Call as many times as you want.
Typical sales.
I'm gonna put your number on one of my bot dialers, and I'm just gonna blow it for the next 3 hours.
You're gonna kill my battery just by ringing all over and over and over again.
Remember when you used to be able to use that excuse? My text message inbox is full. It can only have 12. Remember those days?
Now we never had that problem in America, Nick.
Yeah, exactly. Some people on this call
must be an Ireland thing.
Experienced anything like that. Did anybody have on the line? This is not on the show, but anybody have a seriously high tax bill as a kid? Anybody have like what, just like huge, like you had to explain that away? Bane, what was your tax bill? Anybody want to guess? By the way, let's take some guesses here. I'm gonna guess that you had like a 400. I was gonna say $450 tax bill.
1 month.
800 for Chris. Who else has something? What do you guys?
Isn't that like super high? I was gonna say like
it is, but the kids were texting like crazy, like it was so addictive. Remember,
I'm older than
I'll say it was over $1,000.
So I'm deceptively old. So just
It used to be 10 cents to send free and receive text.
And then you had to pay for everything after 100, which 100 lasts for like 2 hours maybe for a kid, maybe not even that. All right, so Bane, what was your highest cell phone bill as a kid?
$873.
Oh, Chris Jolly, winner chicken dinner, $873. You can buy a whole phone for that now. That's incredible. Wow! Just to send text messages. What year was that? Do you remember?
Bought, 8 phones for that.
Yeah. Do you remember what year that was?
That was 1998.
That's so awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah. He's still got the bill.
Greg, I am deceptively old.
Just like sitting there.
Oh my gosh, $800 and some dollars for
little text trivia. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's crazy. It's almost like paying $800 for a CD player. Remember, we used to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Remember when we went from text to MMS? Remember that?
Yes.
You just sent text, you went to MMS.
Mm-hmm.
My buddy was the engineer that took MMS out of the laboratory and installed it for the first time in the world for Vodafone Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And he has the story where he had to actually like move the server and replace the server. And they said, make sure you don't make any mistakes because that server right there makes $1 million a minute. And this was like way back when, like, £1 million a minute. So it was like $2 million at the time, every minute. So if you like every minute he would make a mistake would cost £1 million.
They're like, don't touch that. Don't touch that ATM machine.
In that same vein, my dad worked for MCI even before WorldCom bought them. So this is way back. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Heard that name forever.
Yeah, and he worked in Pentagon City, right outside of Washington D.C. And if you have seen the Verizon commercial, they have a video, like a homemade video of the very first cell phone call that was made at Soldier Field to a building in Chicago. My dad is in that video because he worked on the network that was the original, like basically the foundation of 1G way back in the late mid-90s.
Well,
was that the MCI store that was like in the far back corner of Pentagon City?
No, this was the building. It was 2 towers in Pentagon City.
All right, Beefcake. That story was great, but it does not top Meshach's story. Meshach knows the best people.
I said it was in the same vein, man. I want to try and top it. I'm saying the same vein.
Well, I'm just saying this is often what happens. Like, oh, well, you think that's good? Let me tell you my story. I mean, that happens a lot.
Trey's getting cranky.
I was gonna say, don't undercut his story. It was a good story, Bane.
Maybe you should go shoot $100 golf course. You cranky about that, Trey.
Listen,
Trey hasn't hit the range yet.
We've got. I'm getting itchy. I'm here at the golf course. I can't swing a club yet. I got.
Let's get a post on hashtag my dad's better than yours. Let's get that.
Well, hashtag my dad's stronger than yours. There, I win.
Well, that's right. That's right. Okay, listen. Let's transition here. We got 15 minutes left. Obviously, week 1 football. One of the reasons that Blythe is also on the call is not only talk about her marketing prowess, but also to tell us what's going on in Jacksonville. What in the world? Is that like a college football team now in the NFL? What happened?
I mean, it's just same old. It's same old.
Evil. How do you expect God's going to treat you guys? You guys are going to lose every game this year.
God, if I could live the rest of my life stress-free and not hear that man's name associated with my team.
Well, let's have a little poll here. You guys see the poll? Did it pop up there? You guys got it? We'll have a little football poll here to talk about. I didn't put Dak on there.
Wow, the insult.
Listen, I did it last minute.
I'm offended that you didn't put Heineke on here.
I know. Listen, hey, we're at a trade show. It's short on time. I mean, how many excuses you guys want? I haven't slept at all this week. Just be glad we got a show this week, people.
Well, shit,
Trey, you're full of excuses. Did you see Heineke versus the Jets yesterday? Or not Jets, sorry, Giants yesterday? Just saying.
Yeah, we watched that game.
We did.
Yep.
Yes.
He played well, actually. Like, we were talking about that. Heineke actually did play really well.
Just against the Giants.
Did they win?
It was, right. You have
Did they win?
Sample size. We need a much larger sample size. Redskins.
We did.
Didn't they win on on a penalty or something?
No shit.
No. We did not win on a penalty. We won on a field goal.
Oh, that's called it close, bro. That's
a
too, bro.
lot of things that happened before that won them the football
That's
game.
why Green Bay came down here and laid an egg.
Yes. Look, we played well. Everybody says we. I was not on the field. My fat behind was watching.
No, you can say
wife.
we. It's okay.
But
we're all doing
it.
We played really well. Like, we stayed in that game the entire time. So I'm just saying. I'm answering other to every single thing on here because my answer for everything is going to be watching the football team.
Ugh, gross. Okay, listen, that picture behind you is the picture that's going to be the emblematic picture of the Jaguars team for the next 5 years.
Look at that bicep vein he's rocking too. Like, he was clearly getting pumped up.
Look at that.
How could they
too bad he couldn't use it to actually make a block, but that's none of my business.
Specimen.
He was cut because he couldn't make a block.
He's just doing it to sell more books. That's all. He's gonna write a book about.
Sounds
this.
like
exactly. It was all marketing for him, and that's what I think most people don't understand about this man. It is genius, but I just would like it to not be at the sake of my football team anymore. It's been a decade of this show.
It's not marketing for him. It's marketing for Jesus.
Nobody is marketing better than Baker Mayfield.
Baker's got some legit marketing going on.
Yeah,
my favorite commercial is the Heisman and the home.
Every commercial he is in.
Brady too. Brady is damn good at marketing.
Brady does good on social media. He's got some legit social media posts.
He's good at social.
He's also good at kissing his kid.
All right, ending the poll. Let's share the results. Let's talk about it. So, question number 1 of NFL Week 1 superlatives, most likely to win, MVP. It looks like 5 of you think that none of these are going to win. Okay, but Patrick gets the most. I like that. But who are the others? We got Dak. We got Heineke. No, Josh Allen. Maybe he's legit. Who else?
What's your boy's name? I want whatever he's smoking. Dak's gonna win the MVP.
Oh yeah, dude, he will. I'm taking the field and taking Dak.
Listen, I played quarterback. I played quarterback for 15 years. So
Dak will make it to the end of the season.
Top 3 doesn't win, bro.
Everybody loves a comeback story. Dak's gonna get it.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
All right, I'm ready to start receiving bets, guys. Just say.
I'll take it right now.
All right, question 2: most likely to not win a game. Oh, Blythe, look at that. 4 people said you're
I come on here and I get bullied like this.
That's the reason you came on.
Trey, where are the Packers on this one?
Oh, cool, Greg.
Well,
cool.
I had to only pick a couple of teams. I'm sorry, so I just picked 4 and then other, of course. So
Atlanta Falcons.
How did the Jets get 8%? They're trash.
They have a whole new regime. Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Disrespectful.
It's a whole new regime.
I think the Jets are actually low-key gonna be good.
You take the same. They have new quarterback, new coach. Nobody knows. They might have a couple. You don't know. But if
Trash
you did the same
organization.
coaches last year, then they probably would be higher up on the list. That's true.
Yeah, Coleman. The
Giants
only reason
got
I didn't pick the Giants is because they played the Cowboys twice.
Yeah, exactly.
The Jets this year
There's
are
always
one of those teams who you don't have a lot of game tape on. Like, you don't know what they're going to throw at you.
They'll probably win 4 or 5 games just because of that. I mean, so it's just very possible.
Cowboys.
But you're right. If you're in the NFC East, you got a good chance to win some games because that division is so awful.
You're gonna win
That's the same thing about the South, the AFC South.
Horribly awful, But at least the AFC South has had some decent teams along the way. The East has been terrible. I mean, just consistently garbage. You expect 7 wins to win the division. They probably go into summer camp. Like, hey guys, we just need to win 7 games this year. Can we win 7 games?
About the same
Garbage
South, I
or
think,
competitive? Or competitive. I mean, maybe it's
they're only playing
indirectly
half
the toughest
games in the division. The other half are out of the division, so they're losing a lot of games out of the division.
Just saying,
whole lot of games.
Unbiased here. The Dallas Cowboys will win the division.
Unbiased. You were at the game in the Bucks. You put money on.
We can reshare.
Unbiased opinion.
We can reshare word on the street. Week 17, the Cowboys will win the division.
Oh man, you're full of it. All right, number 3.
Save this
When the Cowboys lose, you're going to look the exact same way that my icon does. With those lifeless
they already lost.
dolls' eyes.
I was there to witness it.
Let's put it
They
this
got a
way.
25-year history of losing here lately. So.
The NFC East is so bad. Virginia Tech's going to win the division. That's how bad they are.
You said Virginia Tech.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta go Blacksburg.
Which might be the Jaguars. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop. No more. Number 3.
Damn.
Most likely to throw
Never
his
coming on the show
headset-
again.
Most likely to throw his headset in the most games this year. So John Gruden gets it at 5.
Bingo.
Nice.
Easy.
Bill Belichick only 2. Who are the others? Who did I miss? Who are some of the coaches that you?
I voted
Has to
for
be Bill.
Urban because it's happening soon.
Voted for Urban.
Well, let's be honest. Urban's going to be gone after week 3 because SC's open, so he's going to miraculously retire for health reasons and then go to fucking Southern Cal.
That's right.
I mean, plenty of fans have gotten a heart attack before.
A cushion.
I thought the
It's-
answer to that
I'm sure,
question should have been Jerry Jones.
Oh, Jerry.
Well, he doesn't fit in the. I guess I should.
You got to be on the field to throw your
Are you
headset.
telling
though.
me Jerry Jones doesn't fit as a coach?
He doesn't have a headset.
Jerry Jones is the only owner in the NFL that's actually involved in day-to-day football.
That's true.
Oh, here
he
we
might
go.
actually be wearing a headset.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I don't like him. I don't like him. I hate him.
the greatest organization ever. We haven't won since
Unbiased.
'95.
Here's my unbiased opinion.
He'll probably just pay his nephew to throw the headset for him. That's what's going to
So
happen.
awesome.
Yeah, all the other
Oh, it's
organizations
so
are
good.
good enough not to have their owner have to do that.
Oh, so funny.
I
Oh, so
agree.
good. Yeah, so I need you to come
nothing.
back like week 17.
I'll be here week
18,
7. I'm telling
And
you,
we'll
take
just
that
see
clip.
where
Take
we'll
that
see
clip.
how things stand. We're gonna replay the
I might
clip
be
on the
sick
show,
that
and
week.
that's how it's gonna rock. Oh goodness! All right, everybody. Well, listen, we got to end the show with this week in pictures. I don't have a lot of news pictures this week because clearly I've been busy with the trade show. We're gonna talk a little bit about what's been happening. We got some mutual pictures here, so we're gonna start with actually 2 weeks ago because last week didn't get a chance to share any pictures. So we're gonna go back 2 weeks. This is the new fence I built. Everybody, look at that with my own 2 hands.
Nice.
Blood, sweat,
Oh,
tears.
look at
and,
that.
Is it at an angle
I
on you?
know. I know it's not perfect. And listen, the one in the back was the original. I only did the front. In fact, it was up here. So right up here, there used to be a post right up here by this one. This guy's pissed, my neighbor, because as you can see, I've now created a gap in his fence. So he's going to have to, do something about that later. But, I can only do so much. I also built a nice little retaining wall area. We're going to put some nice big rocks in there, put some grass down, but I built that wall there. So I've been doing some work at home, everybody. Been sweating it out. It's been good. So
Do it yourself, Dad.
I know. I'm feeling really proud of myself. Do it yourself, Dad. That's right. One of these days I'll make enough money that I can just, contract it out. But until then, I'm doing the work. A couple of things that got to happen this week. I got to meet Camilo Villegas, which is another one of our brand ambassadors. You can see our logo there on his left sleeve on the right side there. So that was really cool. Got to see him at a tournament. It's amazing. He's smaller than me. It's unreal. How little
Did
I
you
got.
guys do the pose together? Where he like lays
Oh,
on
Spider-Man?
Yeah, like,
Spider-Man?
pretty much
He
lays on the
doesn't do
floor.
that anymore because he's old. He doesn't do that anymore.
What?
The Spider-Man pose is out.
Dang.
He does the normal, just crouch down and check it out. All right. Took my family to our first Cardinals game this year. They lost. We had a great time. That's my daughter Hannah and my other daughter Naomi, my wife Tammy. So we had a great time there. Had some good seats, so that was pretty awesome. Got to take my daughter Naomi on a daddy-daughter date, which was really fun. So we got to sit at the bar and at the breakfast spot and have eggs and bacon. No mimosas. We're not there. But had a great time with that. And then of course got to go to McLeod Conference. This is my team at the conference. We shot 8 under and lost by 6. So it's a pretty stout competition there. You guys had a good round. What did you shoot? 10, 9 under? 9 under. So they had a good round as well. So, but had a great time. This guy over here is a player with the bucket hat. He was really good. So had a good time with that. Took the crew out. These are our guys from LGI down in Houston. Brandon Bay on the right, Josh Kale there on the left. And these are the guys that pretty much we owe them some gear too, because they sold it for us down there. We went out to dinner with them. The next night we took everybody to dinner. They were there. Next night we went to a Rangers Houston game. By the way, Rangers are trash too. We show up to the Houston Rangers game, second inning. It's 7-0 Houston. Game's already over. But we had a lot of them. They were there.
Can we leave them alone? Let's leave them out of this. Let's talk about
that was brutal. I was like, man, they suck. Anyways, moving on. So this was at the game. Had a great crew there. We were at a great seat. Funny story. When you're around a rule follower, you can just know it really quickly. So Brandon Bay decides to go. He's talking to the girls too. That happened also. But he decides to go down here to the front row and put his feet up here on the dugout. And this guy comes over and he's like, "Hey, quit vaping. Where are your seats? Where's your tickets?" And he's like, "That guy back there has our tickets. We're just 2 rows back." He's like, "Go back to your seat." There's nobody there. Look at these stands. There's no one there. Right? Who cares? But this guy was like eyeballing. So then Brandon got up in between innings and he'd go stand in there like an usher and they would do the face off to see who would leave first. So we had a good time with that. That was a lot of fun. And then there, of course, my partner.
Brandon Bay's like 6'5", 300. Like, he's a big fucking dude.
He's
like, that
huge.
guy had to have some balls to come say that to him.
He looks like Tebow.
Huge. Yeah, he did.
fucking
Brandon could have
massive.
taken him down quick. Yeah, he's huge. But we had a really good time with that. He also won a shirt. And then the name on the back of the shirt is the guy they traded 3 weeks ago, and they're still passing out the shirts.
Dude, I'll take
the
free
Rangers
shirt any day.
organization, sorry, they've got some
Supply chain issues
but,
everywhere.
It's pretty funny. What's funny is Brandon stole it from a guy in front of him. They both went for it. Brandon got it, and the guy's like, "That dude doesn't even play anymore, so the joke's on you, buddy." So yeah, they did take our foul ball, but it was a great time. We had a blast. And then that was Gina. That's my partner in crime, Gina, man. She's a marketing genius. Love working with her. So she set everything up. She's like, when we go to games, like she's like the one who I'm the kid that like just makes all the mistakes, and she's the mom that has to like keep me in line. That's kind of our relationship. She's so good though. She takes care of us like crazy. So really awesome to work with her. If you have any questions about marketing, she's the one to talk to. And her son Ryan, man, they're phenomenal. And then we went to dinner. What was that place called? Eight. What was it?
It was called Hard Eight
Barbecue in Dallas and Grapevine.
Yep.
Phenomenal. If you are there, go hit that spot up. Really cool vibe. We're actually sitting outside. It's an open area, but under a canopy. And you order out by the smokers. Like you go to the smokers, you're standing next to, you're watching the meat, and you're like, I want a brisket sandwich. And they pull it off and they put it, and you go pay for it. So
that's my high school hot spot, Trey.
Dude, yeah, that place is legit, isn't it?
Legit.
I'm telling you, we were in. I got the little blackberry cobbler right here. You can see the sweet potato fries. Oh, it was amazing. And of course, we got the souvenir cups. So I got it in my suitcase. It's going home with me. I got a souvenir cup. So that was a lot of fun. And then what's next? Oh, of course, yeah, Jared, this is warming up for his first round of the PGA Tour. There's this caddy Tillis, so big time now on the PGA Tour. So if you're watching, hopefully it makes a cut this week, but he'll be out there. If you see our logo, give us a shout out. It's going to be exciting to see him out on tour. And then lastly, but not least, I'm running again. All right. And so I've got a race tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. I don't get home until midnight tonight. I got to drive home, got to get in bed, get up, and I got to go run a 5K tomorrow. It's going to be brutal. So if you guys don't see me next week, this might be the reason. This may be what happened is it didn't work out as well as I'd hoped. But anyways, listen, hey, Blythe, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, please.
Congratulations
My
on
pleasure.
all your success. Please come back. We'll try to be, more gentle on the Jaguars next time. Who knows? Maybe they'll win 4 in a row. And you come back and then you can tell us.
But if they win 4 in a row, I'm not trying to jinx it.
At least one game. At least one.
See, that's the difference between a fan of a really lousy organization and a fan of a good organization. Like nobody of a good organization says, I think I want to jinx Tom Brady. Oh my gosh, I want to jinx him. Like nobody talks like that.
Well, we've gotten to the point where it's been all superstitious for years now. We try to do whatever we can. There's my brother famously, like we used to knock on wood,
taking their shirts off.
My brother took a stick into the stadium so he could be able to knock on wood, and so he wouldn't jinx it. And then we still lost, and he threw the stick into the crowd, and it's a mess.
That's so funny. Well, thank you for coming on. Thank you for talking about marketing and podcasting, and especially make sure you guys follow Digital Dispatch. She's doing some awesome stuff. And for the rest of you, thanks so much for being on the show. We'll see you next week, episode 76, coming to you from St. Louis. I'm back home next week. So thanks so much for joining us by being a part of the show today. We'll see you next week, guys.
It was fun.
Adios, y'all.
Who's going to win? Who's going to win today? I'm giving them 5 shots aside. Who's going to win?
Trey,
taking you, Trey.
Exactly. Thank you.